Alright lads and lasses, welcome along to the first ever episode of Geordie Intelligence. Across this first two videos, what I thought I'd do was give a nice introduction to Power BI, using what everyone's talking about at the moment, COVID-19 and the Johns Hopkins dataset. Now, many of you will be used to seeing stuff on the telly and stuff around everywhere about, COVID-19, it's all terrible, we're all going to die. Now, in order to understand a bit about what's going on, it's nice to bring a bit of intelligence into the world, isn't it? And that's what Geordie Intelligence is all about. To start with, Johns Hopkins, bless them, dead canny people, they've gone and they've put up a data set that anyone can download, anyone can use, anyone can access, and it updates every day. So what we're going to do today is we'll go through how you start getting it into Power BI. Although to help everyone, to help you all get started, we're going to start by using Excel. We'll do today's with Excel, and then tomorrow I'll release a nice video showing how we pull that together and build on it and put it into Power BI to get started. Johns Hopkins have got themselves a GitHub page. On the GitHub page, I'll put a link to it on the description below. You'll find there's a COVID-19 repository. Click down at the COVID-19 repository and you see you've got a couple of folders in there. The one we want to go into is the COVID-19 data. Scan into the data and I want to go into the time series. In the time series, you'll see we've got all these files. The one we're going to use today and for now is going to be the confirmed global. But for tomorrow's one in Power BI, I'll pull them all in and we'll get it all built. But in terms of getting started and the principles, it's just the global's all we need. And the rest, just treat them like bricks, wang them together and it'll all be great. In order to pull in a CSV file and get it read into Power BI, or in this case what we're going to do today with Excel, it's dead easy. We just click on it from GitHub. I'm going to click on this, it's going to go away, it'll partly open it, that's a nice peculiarity of GitHub. Once it comes to this page, you click on raw and that'll give you the raw CSV file. And all we need to worry about is the bit at the top here. So I'm going to right click and copy it. Now you've got your URL, dead easy. How do I pull it in, you say? Go into Excel, all you need is a basic 0365 subscription. So you will need something that you've got a subscription to. I don't think the free version on the web will do it, but something with a subscription. Come through from your home tab, go into your data tab. I want to pull in a CSV file. So I'm going to click on that, and then where it says me file name, I'm going to paste in my URL and click import. It's going to come up with a big thing saying, how do I do it? What do I connect it with? It's dead easy, this man. This is a website. It's anonymous. So I'm going to pick my website down at the COVID-19 level, GitHub COVID-19, and click connect under anonymous. Next, it's going to come up and tell me, what do I do with this? This is the tricky bit that everyone gets wrong. This is the most common mistake that we find, people getting used to Power BI, getting used to any of this stuff as it goes ahead. Don't click load, click transform data. Now you click your transform data, you get brought through to the Power Query screen. Now this screen is the same, be it in Excel, be it in Power BI, or be it in Visual Studio as well, if you're doing your data prep there. Key thing here, this is going to build a table of data. So we'll give it a name. It's going to be what global confirmed. And then we've got the list of steps that we go through to build it. Starting with the source. We've got our source here. This is how it's gone through. You can see we've got our URL. We'll see we've got a list of columns. Now, if we remember, that's going to change every day, isn't it? So we've got 84 today. Tomorrow we'll have 85. So the sensible thing is let's remove that columns, 84. Hit delete on that. There we go. Job's a good one. So tomorrow when it loads it, it's not going to have a list of columns to check. So it's going, how many columns have I got today? I've got 85. Job's a good one. Read those in. Now you've removed your column counts, the next thing to check is, well, step 2, change type. Change type is fine. It's not a bad step. This is one of the steps you'll find often Power BI will do. Even Visual Studio tries to do it as well. It's not necessarily bad. It's not necessarily good either. What I'll do for this, I'm going to remove it here. Just to click the cross, removes the step. It's useful to know that you can do that at any point within Power BI, within Power Query in Excel, or within Visual Studio as well. Those applied steps will be gone through in an order, and you can always undo, remove a step if you done something, or well, if you do something and you didn't like it. Now I've got my basic data set built in. It's going to expand as more days go through and another column is added for each day. All I have to do now though is make it something that I can use. And right now you can see there's a bit of a problem here. I've got column 2, column 1, column 3. That's not right. That's no use. What I need to do is use the first row as headers. So I can click first row as headers. And you'll see it's pulled in again a change type. It's looked at what's in the columns and it said, based on that, I reckon this is the type of data you've got, mate. As I said, Power BI tries to be helpful. Change type, mixed blessing really. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's crap. This time, it's not too bad. We can live with it. Now you've got the basics sorted out with your column headings. So we've got all the right column headings. We now have the data types that are there. It's time to just start cleansing through your data. Let's make it look a bit cleaner. The biggest problem we've got at the minute is we've got a mix. So for some places, we've got some state information. And for some places, we've just got country information. So like we've just got Afghanistan. Whereas Australia, we've got a bit more information about it. So we've got some state level data. So to cleanse that, the quickest, easiest way to do that is from the Add Columns tab. So from the home, go to Add Columns, and we're going to use a 2-column method or a 2-step method to do it. But you'll see, dead easy, it's the quickest, easiest way I can think of to do it. And when you're going through these steps, it doesn't add a lot of load to it. So we're going to start with a custom column. And what we're going to do with our custom column is we're going to combine a country and region with our province and state. So we're going to click on country and region. I'm going to click to have an ampersand. In this case, I'm just going to put a hyphen and then province and state. But you could do this any which way you wanted. We didn't need to give this column a name because it's just a temporary one. Okay, so we see we've got our custom column here. Now we're going to invoke, not a custom column, we're going to use a conditional column here. So in this, like a bit of an if this then that. So this one we're going to give a name because we're going to keep this one. It's going to be country region key, yeah, or country state key. And if province state equals blank, so we'll leave that blank, then let's just use country region. Otherwise, we're going to use the custom column we've just put in, which is right at the back, at the bottom of everything. So we've now got a country state key. Next thing we want to do is to start removing the columns that we're not going to use. So we're going to start by removing custom. We'll click on it, we can right click on it, and we can choose remove. Then we can go all the way back to the other side of the data set. And let's get rid of the first 4 columns over here. So longitude, latitude, country, region, and province state, because we've combined them, we didn't need them, do it. Hold down the shift key, click there, right click, remove columns. Job done. So we've removed our columns and we're starting to get the data in the right structure. But what we need now is to get it in the right shape. Because what we've got is a really nice big wide data set and that doesn't work with a tabular data model. So we need to flip that and get it the right way around. The way we do it is we're going right over to our core column. We've got the key column that we've created, and you can use multiple columns for this. Just pick this one column for here. I'm going to right click on it and choose to unpivot the other columns. And that's going to give us 3 columns. That's all we really need. These three columns are going to form the basis of our data set. What we've got is the one we started with, our geography one. So it's going to be our country or our country and state. We've got an attribute, and that's going to become a date, but I'll show you the gotcha that's that next. And then we've got our value, so that's the number of cases that there are for each day. Now we've got with three columns, it's time to fix attribute. It's supposed to be a date, but in this case, it's not going to work as a date. I can show you that by clicking here to change the column type, pick date, and you see we get a load of errors. It can't work out the dates properly for it. It's a US date format, and I'm not in the US, so that's not going to work. Now I could be tempted to go back and click text or do something different, but if you remember, I said we can just remove the step, so I can click to undo that. It's got back out. What can we do to fix this and make this work consistently for me now as a date value? Really easy. First thing is let's split this column up on the delimiter of the slash. So right click on it, we'll choose to split the column by delimiter, and you'll see it'll come up. It's already picked slash because it can see there's a slash in there. And now we've got three attribute columns, attribute.1, attribute.2 and attribute.3. So we've got with three attribute columns. Unfortunately, Power BI, in Excel, Visual Studio, whatever, when it tries to be clever, if you remember I said it tries to keep changing the types. Let's change these to numbers. I didn't want numbers. I'm going to click that and I'm going to leave them as text for the sake of this. The next thing we need to do is we need to use a 4-digit for the year. Okay, 20 is just going to confuse a date calculation. So what I'll do is I'll click that. I'm going to click to transform the column. I'm going to format it and I'm going to add a prefix. And remember, 20 is the end of it, so a prefix is the right one. I'm going to add 20 to that. So we've now got 2020 down the line. Job's a good one. So I've got me three attribute columns now, all looking good. I've got me years, I've got me days, and I've got me months. Now I need to combine that together and make a new custom column. So from the Add Columns tab, we're going to pick Custom Column. This is the most code we'll write today. It's quite a simple one, and I'll make sure we put it in the description. It's going to be our date key. I'm just going to call it date key. It's going to be Date.FromText. And you see you've got IntelliSense here. And remember I said attribute.2 was me days. I'll do that. Remember how we do these? So a slash, then I want me month. Let's have another slash. And then I want me years. And then we can close brackets. And there we can. We've now got a date key. And if I click to turn that into a date, see, it works. That's the right way to go about it. I've got me three attribute columns. What do we do with them when we don't need them? We can right click on them, select them all, right click, remove the columns. Back to having me three columns. Job's a good one, looks pretty good. Now you're here, it's time to bring this into your Excel spreadsheet so you can actually do something with it. So go into File. In this case, I'm going to choose Close and Load To. You could choose just to close and load. Close and load to. Once this comes up, I'm going to tick this box here to add the data to a data model. This will bring it into the Power Pivot component still within Excel. And then I'm going to choose to use an existing spreadsheet or worksheet, sorry, with the table and actually bring in a table of data as well. You don't necessarily need to do that. You could just have a connection to it, in which case you'll just bring it in, but it'll just be in the data model. It won't be something you can see, click into, have a look at. But we'll make it there so it's all pretty and easy and you can have a look at it. In it comes. And that's now going to work. Every time I need to see this data, it'll be there. Tomorrow, when I want to come in and have a look at my data again, all I have to do It's come in, open it up, hit refresh all, and Power BI, or in this case Excel, will go connect to GitHub, read the data in, apply all them steps that we've gone through, and then present back me data. Much quicker, much easier than having to do anything else with it. So I've got my data into Excel. All I need to do now is to use Excel to build a few of them pivot tables, innit? So pick on that one. I'm going to do a table design, summarising a pivot table. I'm just going to use the existing one. Put a table there. Click OK. Make it easier still, just for the sake of this, I'm going to put a slicer on, country and state slicer. Let's click OK on that. So we can have that, we can pick what countries there. Let's make it really simple. Let's pick the UK just to get started. Pick the UK. Helps me do it the right way around. And now I can pick this. 3 pivots. Let's put the country state key on the top. Let's put cases in the values. Let's put the dates down there. You can see, picked their dates already. We didn't need the months in there. We just want the dates. And we can see how the UK's progressed on it. Let's get rid of the grand total there. Doesn't make any sense for it. And we can now have the UK. We could choose to put this into a pivot chart. Dead easy again. Pivot table analysis. Whack it into a pivot chart. It's gone with a nice line. That looks good, doesn't it? And we can see the way the UK is progressing. We could choose, let's put someone else in. So we could bring in the US, for example. We could bring in anyone else. We can just choose to drop those into the chart and it will add to them. But I'm sure you're all used to doing that in Excel. It's not a problem, nothing special. But the best thing about this is, tomorrow when I need to see what's happened, I need to send something to my boss again, all I have to do is go back in, come to data, open up, refresh all, and it'll go through and it'll update and everything will just refresh and I'll have the latest versions of everything. Great way to move forward. See you tomorrow as we start to do it all in Power BI.